Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I think you can hear me. Yes, it's green. Okay. My name is Bradford, and welcome back to another class of B1. This is an intermediate level class. If this is your first time, then I encourage you to watch the other videos to see what we have been doing. If you have, great. If not, you can watch them whenever you get a chance. Today we are going to look at quantifiers, some, any, no, few, little, much, many, all of those things. And we are also going to look at indefinite pronouns, things like something, someone, somebody, somewhere, nowhere, anywhere, nothing, anything, things like that. Okay, and hello to Ugo, Enrique, and V, who have said hello already in the chat. I'll tell everybody this as well, that the chat is there to ask me questions. Okay, so while I'm explaining the lesson or explaining the rules, yeah, ask me any doubts, ask me any questions that you might have, and I will try or do my best to answer them as we go. Later on, we will have, I think there's a little bit of exercise, not too much today. Um, oh, yeah. No, yeah, there is. There's quite a bit, actually. One, two, three. Yeah, there is. I thought I didn't, I thought I hadn't done too many today, but I have. So let me pop this up and then we will get started. Let's see. All right, let me move over here so I can get out of the way, maybe. We'll see how good, we will see how well today I can stay out of my own way. Yeah, I'm constant, when I'm making the lessons, I'm really trying to have that, keep that in mind. But anyway, here we go. So I'm not in the way right now, which is very good. Um, Maybe I need to figure out another way to monitor the whole thing as it's happening and I can see this better. Or I could hire a producer. Not really. Okay, so this is for the preliminary exam or the B1 exam. These are grammar points and sometimes exam tips to help you with the preliminary exam. Uh, on that point, I think that Cambridge is intending on keeping the exams the same dates that they were. All right. I haven't heard any news about exams being moved to a different date. So if you've signed up for an exam and the date was May 20th or 21st, whatever date it was at the end of May or middle of June, I think in theory that exam is going ahead. Um, you have the option, I believe, if you've signed up for a refund, if you think that because of the stop you are not prepared for the exam, I think you can ask for a refund. Okay, if anybody has any doubts or questions about that specifically, send me an email and I can look at the case on an individual basis, especially if you signed up with me. Okay, so I think Ugo, you've signed up for the preliminary for the B1 exam. I don't know about anybody else. So if you have signed up and you're not sure if you want to take it or if you want a refund, send me an email. All right, let's get started. Quantifiers. So quantifiers are those words that tell us the quantity of something. And when you speak about quantifiers, we have to take into consideration um, countable and uncountable nouns. Now, they shouldn't have been whatever. Countable and uncountable nouns. So that and also questions and negatives are the three things that really make quantifiers a little bit difficult, okay? So countable and uncountable. I have put down here the quantifiers that, and I'm not in the way, am I? No. And I have put down here the quantifiers that we use with countable nouns and with uncountable nouns. I assume, I assume that everyone here watching now the class understands the difference between countable and uncountable nouns. If you don't, now is the time to ask me wherever it is, to ask me in the chat box to explain that. But I assume that we know countable and uncountable nouns, okay? 10-second recap. Countable nouns are nouns that you can count, yeah, like chair, 1 chair, 2 chairs, 3 chairs. Uncountable nouns are nouns that you cannot count, yeah, because it's either a grouping or it's something that it doesn't have, isn't able to be divided into different numbers. So things like air, yeah, the air around you. You say air, you don't say 1 air, 2 airs, okay? Well, at least not in the stuff you can breathe. And there are. You can't hear me? Can anybody? Does anybody else have a problem? Ugo says that the video has stopped and that you cannot hear me. Okay, it's working well for Enrique. V, can you see me okay and hear me? Barbara is working fine. Okay, Ugo, it might be your connection, mate. Maybe close your browser and start again. Okay, we'll see you when you come back. Right. So, where was I? Countable, uncountable. Right. Okay. So sometimes there are some nouns that are countable and uncountable, and that's a little bit higher, a little bit more complicated than B1. But one good example is water. Now, water as the liquid is not countable, it's uncountable, right? How much water is in the ocean? Well, you can't count how much water there is in the ocean, really. Not the water itself. You can count liters or gallons or barrels or decaliters or hectoliters or kiloliters or whatever they large quantities of water, but you can't count water itself. However, when we speak on a colloquial way, yeah, in a colloquial way, yeah, you can count water. Yeah, we would go to a restaurant and you say, I want 2 waters, please. Okay, great. Yeah, you are referring to 2 glasses of water, or 2 bottles of water, or whatever. Yeah. So that's colloquial. Um, so it happens to you too, Enrique. Okay. I wonder if that's me or if that's the internet then, because sometimes I get. Well, it says here that I have an excellent connection, but maybe it's me. I don't know. I'm plugged in. I'm not doing this by Wi-Fi, so. Okay, so those subtleties, those small differences, we're not really going to concentrate on here now. Okay, things like coffee and chicken and things like that, or wood, which can have both a countable and an uncountable meaning. All right, I want to just focus on the very obvious things, okay, like air and chairs and, phones and water. Okay. So you can see that, where is my pointer? You can see that they share a lot. Some, any, no, a lot, and, well, that's it. A lot, no, any, and some, right? They share those 4. There's no difference with those. Where we have the difference is in a few and a little, many and much, lost that, many and much, and not many and not much. And really many and much, not many, not much, it's the same. It's just with the negative there. I had to clarify. So the shared words, let's take a look at those first. Some, no, any, and a lot. Some. We use some with countable and uncountable words, okay, when there is an unknown quantity, ya, una cantidad desconocido, okay? It's not a very big quantity and it's not a very small quantity. It's just nondescript, okay? There's some. And I don't have a sample sentence here to show you, but there is some water in the swimming pool. There is some water in the swimming pool. Not a little, not a lot. Some. It's just a quantity. It's not a specific quantity. Okay, it's on purpose. It's non-specific. That's for uncountable with water, or there are some chairs in the classroom. Okay, that begs the question, how many chairs are there? Well, there are some. Well, some. Does that mean 2? Does that mean 50? How many is some? Well, some doesn't have a specific number. It's an undefined quantity. So some for both. That really doesn't have a great translation into Spanish. There are some that are acceptable, algunos y algo de, and things like that, but it's not exact. Okay, no. This one is a little confusing because when I say no, I mean no as in zero quantity, no chairs or no water. There is no water in the swimming pool. And I say is because water is uncountable. We use the singular. There is no water in the swimming pool. And when I say there is, this is an affirmative sentence. There is, yeah? Notice, I am not saying there is not no water. No. There is no water in the swimming pool. And I will just put that here because I forgot to put it on the presentation. There is no water in the pool. So you see there is, that's affirmative. And the no makes it negative. There is no water in the swimming pool. Zero quantity. Okay? There are no chairs in the classroom. There are no chairs in the classroom. Again, there are, that's affirmative, but we are saying that the quantity is 0. Okay? It's not a negative sentence. It has a negative connotation, but it's not a negative verb. And that's a little confusing sometimes. Where's my next? Any. Okay, so now any we use in questions and in negative sentences. Okay, in negative sentences to say 0 quantity. So before I said there is no water in the pool. Now I say there isn't, negative, there isn't any water in the pool. And I'll put that here as well. There, oh dear, now I've gone and done it. What have I done? Okay. I've gone and done something. There we go. Okay, back to any. So, how about there isn't any water in the pool? Okay, so now you can see the difference between there is no water in the pool and there isn't any water in the pool, because we cannot have 2 negatives in a sentence. That is a double negative. And a double negative in English makes an affirmative. So if you say there isn't no water in the swimming pool, it sounds horrible, but that means there is some water in the swimming pool. Okay, so do not use a double negative. There is no water, there isn't any water. Good. We also use it in the questions. Is there any water in the swimming pool? So now it's not a zero quantity. I'm asking if there is a quantity in the pool, either a little or a lot or some. Is there any water? I don't know. So in the question, is there any water in the swimming pool? Okay. I'm assuming that there are no questions yet because nobody is asking me anything. So that's pretty good. Oh dear. No, this is just going all over the place today. So a lot. A lot is also used in both countable and uncountable. This refers to a high quantity. All right. There are a lot of chairs in the classroom. Again, I don't know specifically how many, 20, 30, 500, but I know that there is a lot. Okay, there are a lot of chairs in the swimming pool. In the classroom, there are a lot of chairs in the classroom. It's a small classroom and it's full of chairs, so yeah, there are a lot. Or there is a lot of water in the swimming pool because the water is coming over the sides. There's too much. There's a lot. Now, looking at the differences, countable words use many and few. Many is a high number, few is a low number. So we use many with questions and negative sentences. So negative sentence being there isn't or there aren't. In this case, there aren't, and a low quantity. There aren't many chairs in the classroom, one or two. There aren't many chairs. There's a fly in my room and he's bothering me. Or when you want to ask about a quantity, how many chairs are there in the classroom? How many chairs? This is countable. How many? Or are there many? Are there many chairs in the classroom? No, only a few. Okay, a few is a low quantity. It's less than some, right? So some is more than a few, but some is fewer than a lot. So it goes a lot, some, a few for countables. So a few. Now, I don't know if I should or not explain. There's a very, very common mistake that is that a lot of native speakers make, and I caught myself already twice making this mistake today, and I had to correct myself. Many times people will say there's a few blah 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 blah, but there is a few is wrong because few is countable. You must say there are a few, but a lot of times people just say there is for everything. Okay, uncountable words, much and little. Much, like many, we use for low quantity in the negative, so not much. Or asking about quantity, how much? How much water is in the ocean? A lot. How much water is in the swimming pool? There's some. Now we can say there is some. There is some water because water is uncountable. There are some chairs. So using it with the negative, like many, there isn't much water in the swimming pool. A low quantity. Okay. Finally, in the affirmative, a little, a low quantity with uncountable nouns. There is a little water in the swimming pool. This is different from there is a little person in the swimming pool, right? Because a little person means a small person. There is a little person in the swimming pool, like my baby daughter or baby son or my daughter. She's a little person. Or there is a little water in the swimming pool. This is not a small water. This is a quantity of water. So Be careful with that. Yeah, there is a difference between a little with a countable word, which means small, a little phone, a little computer, a little pen, is not the same as a little water, a little air, a little orange juice, okay? So be careful with that. Little with countable means small. Little with uncountable means low quantity. Are there any questions with this? I'm talking a lot and nobody is saying anything, but that's okay. You're all very concentrated. You're all concentrating very much. Very much. Okay, so let's look at some and any, because these are often not confused, but a lot of people think that any means zero, and it doesn't. Not any means zero, but any by itself, tal y como está así, yeah, it doesn't mean zero. So we have, I have some cookies, plural. I need some water. Okay. I don't have any cookies, zero cookies. I don't need any water, zero water. Do you have any cookies? Some, a few, a lot. Do you have any? Do you have at least one cookie? Okay. Do you need any water? Do you need a drop of water? Do you need a liter of water? Do you need, how much water do you need? Okay. No, I don't need any water. I need zero water. I don't need any water. Yes, I need a lot of water to fill the swimming pool. All right. Now here with the questions, if you expect it to be a yes, okay, we can use some in a question. But I want you to remember more importantly is if you are offering something to someone, okay, or requesting something, can I have some water? I'm sorry, requesting something, not offering. But okay. Let me back up. Beep, 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 beep. If you're offering something, would you like some water? In the question, you can use some. If you're requesting something, pidiendo, can I have some water? Then you use some in the question. So requesting something or offering something in the form of a question, you can use some. Could you please give me some bananas? Could you please give me some bananas? Would you like some bananas? So offering and requesting, we can use some. And this is what I was telling you before about some nouns are a bit confusing to remember that they are, where are you going? That they are countable or uncountable. So coffee can be both food, help, homework, yeah, right. So homework in Spanish, for example, is plural, deberes, but in English, it's uncountable. Information, news, that's another difficult one to remember. News in English is not countable, but in Spanish it is countable. Noticias, and in English it's news. There is some news. Another one, advice. Paper can be both. Rice, salt, soup, sugar, tea time, water. Money, that's another one. Oh, money, it's there. Can you think of any other words that have maybe been confusing for you that you learned? Countable, uncountable. You say, I never remember there's this is countable. Or I never remember, boom. Or have there been any words that have been difficult for you to remember countable and uncountable? Or do you have any questions about a word that is countable or uncountable? I know one word that everybody makes a mistake with. No. Hello, Nieves. paper. Okay, so paper we can use when you talk about the material. So, for example, the paper that you put into your printer or the paper that you write on in a notebook. You do not say a paper, for example, here in my notebook. This is not a paper. Okay, this is a piece of paper or a sheet of paper, but it's not a paper. Countable, a paper would be like the newspaper. But you have to remember that paper, generally, when you talk about paper to write on or paper in your notebook, it's not countable, Barbara. Okay, so some paper. There is some paper on my desk. Yeah, have you got any paper? I need to make a paper airplane. I think there is a piece of paper on the table. Okay, but not a paper on the table. What about this sentence? And if you're not Spanish, I apologize, but I'm 99% sure that everybody here now is Spanish. Translate this sentence for me. La gente es muy enfadada. Can you translate that sentence for me and write it in the comments? And I'll wait for your answers. We'll see. Just out of curiosity. So the sentence was, La gente es muy enfadada. Can you tell me what that is in English? Okay. Not bad. Enrique, not bad. Barbara. V got the trap. Sorry, V. All right. So people in English is plural. So Enrique and Barbara, you're correct with are. But V, you're correct by using the. Yeah, because we're speaking specifically about a group of people. I'm not generalizing to every person in the world when I say la gente. Yeah, la gente está enfadada. So I would say the people are very angry. Barbara, no you, but I think that was a typo, maybe. So it's Angruy, not you. But the important thing to remember is that people are, okay, or people don't, right? Not people doesn't. So V, remember that. People are, people know, people think, people play. Okay, so there's no S. People don't like blah, 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 blah. All right, we don't say people doesn't. All right, so here we go. I don't have any cookies. I don't need any water. So I have no cookies. I have no water. Do you see how this is the negative sentence with any and an affirmative sentence with no? It means the same. I have no cookies. I have no water. Now, some or any. Just start throwing answers at me. This should go by very quickly. Some or any. I'm building up to a more difficult exercise. This one's very easy, yeah? So, some or any. Number one, I don't need any money because I'm going to bring my lunch to school. Ugo says he doesn't have any pens, but I have some pens. Any and some, yes, very good. Any and some, yes. Number three, our teachers didn't give us. Number three, some homework, says V. And Ugo says any. V jumps down to 4 because it's a question. You said any, okay. So V, remember that it's a negative. So didn't give us any homework. So number 3 is any, but V, you're also right that number 4 is any because it's a question. So questions and negatives, we have any. Number 5, V said, oh, yeah, I think you caught your mistake. Yeah, I saw you there, V. I caught you. Hugo says number 4 is any, yes. Enrique, some. Be careful. Okay, 6 is some. V says 5 is any. Yeah, do they have any library cards? No, they don't have any. Very good. Enrique, Paul wants to buy some new shoes. Question 56, Enrique? Nice. When we get to 56, I'm sure it will be some. Excuse me, I need some information. Very good. I don't have any paper, but Mary has some. Perfect, V. Excellent. Way to go. Mr. Smith has any questions that he wants to ask you? Be careful, V. It's affirmative. Okay, so it has some questions. Number 10, they have some apples, but they don't have any bananas. Very good, V. Very good, Barbara. I'm sorry, but we don't have any more tickets. Yes, very good. Number 10, some and any, Hugo. Yes. Thomas read. Some interesting books last month. Yes, it's affirmative. 13. I bought some milk and some sugar at the supermarket. Do you have any coins for the bus? No, I don't have any. And I need some help with my homework. Excellent. Perfect. Has anybody got any questions about vocabulary here? I know that if you have some, you can always Google it while I'm speaking, but I thought to ask. No questions. Okay, so let's look at some and any and no again, but how they relate to indefinite pronouns. And an indefinite pronoun is a pronoun that we don't really know what it is. So someone, something, somewhere. These are indefinite pronouns. They work like a pronoun, but we don't know what it is. It's the same in Spanish, really. Things to remember, the double negative. Okay, you cannot say there isn't nothing. Yeah, in Spanish, you say no hay nada. Hold on, Hugo. Oh my gosh, you guys are too fast. Okay, so I wanted to explain a little bit first, so maybe I should have hidden this away, but I like your ambition. Okay, so let's get right to it then. I want you to mix some, any, and no with thing, one, buddy, and where. Okay, so notice the pronunciation here is somebody, anybody, nobody. Okay, but if it's by itself, it's body. But anyway, Hugo jumped right in and said somebody, someone at the door. Yes, because it's affirmative, so there is someone at the door. I think it's the mailman. V then said we didn't do anything. Okay, good, V, because it's negative. So, yeah, anything. We didn't do anything. We were at home the whole time. Number 3, V, you're on a roll. Okay. Did anyone or did anybody call for me? Number 4, my dad is going to take me. Okay, something special this weekend. V says no. V, that's not correct. Number 4 is not correct. Want to try again, or can anybody else help out with number 4? Yeah, V at the moment is the only one to answer almost all of these. That's fantastic. Good ambition. You're going to town. Number 4. Some, Enrique, somewhat. Someone, something, somewhere, somebody. No, not something. That's right. Okay, somewhere. He's going to take me somewhere special. Me va a llevar a un sitio especial. Yeah, somewhere. Okay. There was nobody at school. Hugo said nobody. Yeah, there was nobody at school. So remember, um, V said anywhere, but that doesn't work because anywhere V we would need a negative, yeah, or a question, and it's not a negative or question for the any. So it's an affirmative question. Where's my pointer? It's an affirmative question or sorry, statement. There was, so we use nobody because it was a Sunday. Nobody, nadie, was at the school. Did you go 6 is a question. V said anyone. Did you go? So go, are we talking about a person, a place, or a thing? Number 6 with go. Did you go? Enrique says anywhere. Good. Question. So we use any. Did you go anywhere last Friday? Did you go anywhere last Friday? Did you go anywhere special last Friday? Good. I'm starving. I need to have something to eat. Very good, Enrique. Very good, Barbara. And the last one, I'm going to not move so that my thing goes away. Maybe. Yes, there. And number 8, there is in this envelope. It's empty. There's in this envelope. There's anything in this envelope, Barbara says. Enrique says nothing. Well, he said something. He said nothing. He said his answer is nothing. Whew. That was a bit complicated. So Barbara says anything. Enrique says nothing. Barbara changes her answer to nothing. Hugo says nothing. You know what I mean. And the answer is nothing. Okay, good. So remembering that because it's affirmative, this menu keeps popping up. So because it's affirmative, there is nothing. Yeah, we can't use the double negative in English, so there is nothing in the envelope. Now, this sometimes is difficult, and sometimes B1 or Spanish people will say there isn't nothing in the envelope. Because in Spanish, no hay nada. No, nada. It's a double negative, but in English, we cannot use the double negative. That was difficult for me to learn in Spanish because when I started saying there's a fly right in front of my face, it's very annoying. When I started learning Spanish, it sounded so strange for me to say no and nada or no and nadie. And yeah, it just sounded strange to use a double negative. Okay, so be aware of that double negative and you'll be fine. Okay, that's 2 more screens to do. We got an easy one and then a difficult one. Not difficult really, but more difficult, and then we're done for the day, okay, with the determiner, quantifiers, determiners, and the such. So choose A or B, much, many, little, or few. Much, many, little, or few, all right? And we can just, oh, well, I've got 15, 16, 17, 18, but I forgot the numbers on this side. So why don't we start up here, and you can just tell me how much time or how many time? Hugo says, how much time? That's right, how much time. Okay, so time is uncountable. That's what we have to remember. I moved to this city last week, so I still don't have many friends. Ooh, now Ugo is on a tear, yeah? Before it was V. V was answering everything, and now Ugo is answering everything. V says many, yeah. Number 3, there is a few bread. Ooh, be careful, Ugo. Yeah, we can see here with is that bread is uncountable. And if bread is uncountable, then it must be a little. And I'm not talking about the size of the bread. I'm talking about the quantity of the bread. There is a little bread on the table next to the jam. Not much, just a little. Okay? Are you hungry? There are cookies in the cupboard. There are a few cookies in the cupboard. Man, Ugo is on a tear. Anybody else wants to jump in? Feel free to jump in. I will try not to go as quickly, but did you find out Ugo says, many information about the college? Anybody else? Maybe you agree or disagree. Okay. So here, Barbara says much, Ugo says many. Maybe we have a desempate. Information is not countable. It's uncountable. So the answer has to be much. Very good, Barbara. Okay, Ugo, so information is much. There are, and it's plural, so many kids. There are many kids playing outside in the garden. All right. How many pets do you have? Many, or Ugo says a few. Anybody else? So how many? We're talking about number. It is a few, all right? And this sounds a bit strange. Yeah, have you got a few pets or have you got many pets? Right. I haven't got any pets. I think I have 4 children. So that's kind of like having a lot of pets. Kind of. But they talk, so it might be worse. I don't know. I think we still have, and Ugo says, a little time. Good. Okay, so time we saw here, uncountable with much. And Enrique agrees with me, a little time to study. Okay, again, we're talking about quantity, not the size of something. Okay, again, oh no, my answers are all here. I forgot to get rid of my answers. Hold on a second. I am going to make you look at me. Hi, while I fix this so that you don't see the answers when I go on to the next slide. So I'm just going to randomly talk to you and make everything disappear. And as I do that, you can giggle. Ha 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 ha. Bradford forgot to do this. He 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 he. And I hope everybody is enjoying now their time to escape from their house, at least for once a day, for 1 hour. Okay, here we go. Boom, we're back. Okay, now the answers are not there. Now I want you to tell me the answer, but without a choice. Much, many, little, or few. Okay? So it's very similar. We'll just go down the line again. So where's my pointer? So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Man, Ugo, you're on a tear. I think Ugo had some extra colacao for his merienda today. No, you're good. So, much, many, Little or few. Right, good. Yeah, cannot be some. Okay. So, yes, how many apples are there on the table? Barbara, I want to buy a new sports car, but I only have a little money. Very good. A little money. Okay, not a lot, a little money. I don't have much money, Ugo. That would be correct, but we don't have the negative here. Um, and Enrique, I caught you. Yeah, the difference between a little and a few. Okay, number 3. There are people waiting outside the theater. I guess I should have said a little or a few because you need that. There are many people or there are a few people. Right, good. Barbara, you're correct. There are a few people waiting outside the theater. There are many people. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Many. Oops. Well, you said 3, but I think you meant 4, maybe. How many times? So here, remember before we said how much time, and now it's how many times. So this is veces, whereas before was tiempo. So how many times did the phone ring before you answered it? And we have the plural, and that tells us it's countable. I have many friends who live in other countries. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. How much sugar? Sugar is uncountable. Do you usually drink very... Yes, Enrique, few would work for number 5 as well. Yes, absolutely. I have few friends, or a few friends would be better. I did this incorrectly here. It should say a few or a little. Do you usually drink very... Number 7, much coffee. Okay, so Ugo, be careful. Coffee is uncountable. Do you drink very much coffee? Yeah, I drink about 5 cups of coffee a day. Okay. If it said, I'm sorry, if there was an S here, coffees, then it would be many. Yeah, I drink 5 coffees a day. Do you usually drink very many coffees in the morning, for example? But there is no S, so it's uncountable. There wasn't much food in the kitchen, so I decided to go to a restaurant. Well, not today. You would have to order takeaway, right? Okay. That's it for today. That is our class for today. I hope that it was a good refresher. I hope that it helped you clarify some doubts about plural and singular. Be careful. Maybe next week I will add a little more difficulty, and I'll put in some words that are both countable and uncountable, and then you can kind of see how those are different and how the meanings change, okay? And I can also put in some common mistakes that the Spanish make. For example, people, advice, information, news, these types of things, okay? Furniture. Yeah, I can do that next week as well. If you are coming back tomorrow, I look forward to seeing you. If not, then I will see you next week. Be safe, have fun, enjoy the time out, enjoy the nice weather. It's a beautiful day. Tell all your friends, tell all your family that I'm here, that they can come and see me, and I will see you the next time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.